is the maiden familiarization visit to the Defense and Army headquarters in Abuja. The Defense Minister was accompanied by the Honorable Minister of State for Defense and other principal staff from the Ministry of Defense to acquaint themselves with the activities of the Armed Forces of Nigeria. He was received by the Chief of Defense Staff and members of the Armed Forces.
Announcing the arrival of the Honorable Minister of Defense, accompanied by the Chief of Defense Staff.
The first call is the visit to the Defense headquarters, where the Minister of Defense pledged that the Ministry of Defense and the Armed Forces of Nigeria will work together towards ridding the insecurities and challenges the country is facing.
And working together. The Chief of Defense Staff and the other chiefs, service chiefs, as well as the ministry, are working cordially and very much free to each other towards the development of the force and towards ridding the country from all the security challenges that we face. So I thank you for bringing all the team together and make us one family. I also want to thank you for the training of members of armed forces. This is one major area you focus on, and it is surely yielding result as the level of discipline is increasing daily, considering the caliber of officers and the men in our command on our armed forces.
The Chief of Defense Staff welcomed the Minister and thanked him for supporting the military since the assumption of office. He said the military is prepared for the coming elections in the three states of Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa. He assured that the election goes in fully democratically without any fear or intimidation.
So we are also prepared for the coming elections in the three states of Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa states. I want to ensure that the election goes in fully democratically without any fear or intimidation. We don't want any violence. I want to appeal to all stakeholders that it does nobody any good if anybody is killed because we have to go and vote. So it is important that we all put hands on deck to make sure that the elections are hitch-free and they are peaceful, and so that the results can also bring out what people actually wanted. That's the robust and modernization equipment of the Armed Forces of Nigeria that I know we have taken up even with Mr. President. We want to say thank you. Improved funding for the Armed Forces. We know the situation on ground, that the Armed Forces is doing the best it can, but we are limited due to dearth of funding. But we want to thank you very much for your commitment in ensuring that you present our cases to the President. Issues of accommodation for personnel, I think that's one important thing. We are yearly recruiting almost 20,000 personnel, both officers and soldiers, on a yearly basis. And the need to make sure that they are properly accommodated cannot be overemphasized. I want to thank you, sir, for also looking at those aspects. The issue of training, foreign training for personnel to countries outside, especially now that we're dealing with counter-terrorism and counter-insurgencies all over the country. The support we are giving to DHQ on the Armed Forces Special Forces Brigade, we have one at Badaru, and then the training school that we want to enhance, upgrading capacity of defense simulation centers to enable training to be continuous. We know the importance of simulation. It gives us a real feel without having to spend so much. Then special funds for medical. What we realize is the morale of our troops. They see how the injured are treated. If they're not treated well, they will never want to be committed. But we're happy to see how they're doing, and we're happy that more has been promised and more will be done. Recently we looked at the issue of enablers that we use together within the armed forces, such as cyber warfare, artificial intelligence, the use of drones, and we're looking at the aspect of how to harmonize them together under a command so that we can have good control on how we apply them.
The maiden familiarization visit later took both ministers to the Army headquarters in Abuja. Both ministers pledged that the federal government will do all within its power to support the Nigerian Army, especially through interventions in provision of accommodation, manpower, logistics, and combat enablers to enhance personnel's morale and operational efficiency in mitigating security challenges across the country.
The mission-specific equipment requirements, as well as arms ammunition and ammunitions and combat enablers that are highly needed to succeed in the fight of both insurgency, terrorism, and oil theft. We will not relent, and I'm sure the federal government will do its best to provide with whatever you need to make sure we bring an end to the security problems of our dear nation. The President has demonstrated that since we come in. He has never turned down our request, and he has been very, very supportive, and he promised to continue to support us.
People are not appreciating the effort made by the Nigerian Army, which we have to encourage our soldiers and to appreciate the effort they made by those who lay down their lives for protecting the orderly citizens of this country. But unfortunately, people doesn't see it like that.
In his word, the Chief of Army Staff pledged to sustain the current onslaught on insurgents and other criminal elements.
The Honorable Minister, sir, on behalf of the officers, soldiers, and the entire Nigerian Army community, I welcome you to the Army headquarters this day, the 24th of October, 2023. And I'll start by expressing the delight and the gratitude of the officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army for your interest in our activities since your assumption of office as the Honorable Minister of Defense and the Honorable Minister of State for Defense. We are glad that through your intervention, we have started observing visible interventions from the federal government, other ministries, departments, and agencies, and these have positively impacted on our operations in the field. And to cap it, you have taken time out from your busy schedule to be with us at the Army headquarters this afternoon. This afternoon, we will take time out to brief you on how the Army is organized, the operations we conduct, and some of the challenges that we confront in the field in the bid to achieve our constitutional responsibility and bring peace and stability to our dear country.
The Honorable Minister of Defense also reaffirmed his ministry's confidence in the Nigerian Air Force capability to fulfill its constitutional obligations. He also expressed his unwavering confidence in the leadership of the Nigerian Air Force under Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar and other services as they jointly work towards providing the enabling environment for all Nigerians to live freely without fear of intimidation. The tour of duty and maiden visit to the Defense Headquarters Abuja today by the Ministers of Defense was a remarkable one. At the end of the tour, the role to the introduction of its result-oriented programs, projects and innovative policies would have been achieved by the common good of all personnel and of course Nigerians. Olaimi Eson for Spy TV.